Number 2 on our list is what if I live longer than expected? And I'm not so sure that people think about it in this exact way.
Yeah.
Because they probably want to live a pretty long time. They don't see it as a negative, but longevity is certainly a risk.
Yeah, it is funny because we don't think about longevity as a risk, but what goes along with longevity that really is the risk is you live so long that you run out of resources to pay for whatever expenses you have.
Well, I think most people tend to think, I'm not going to live that long. It's not going to be that big a deal. That's where we hear that a lot of times. It's very cavalier. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to live that long. But I remember a time when I was thinking I'd be lucky to live to 35, and doing the crazy things I did, in high school and college and what have you. We're not going to talk about
how you live has a part of how you feel about that.
But, you've got to think about the fact that you could live into your 90s, and there is a lot going on as far as medical advances and things of that nature are concerned that is really giving you a real good shot at living a long time.
We actually have a graph to share with those of you who are joining us visually through Facebook. We have a graph to share about how life expectancy is really increasing, and you see a pretty significant increase here over the years. This is, by the way, from the UN. Now, we do have a little bit of a downturn because of COVID, but otherwise you see it generally increasing when we look at life expectancy from birth. And guys, I'll say I've been doing some studies recently that has really focused on longevity, and life expectancy from birth compared to life expectancy from age 65, it's very different because there's a lot of things that can happen to you between birth and age 65 that you may not get to 65.
That was what I was talking about not living to 35.
Exactly. But if you make it to 65, you are far more likely to make it to 85 than if you had just been compared to other people at birth, at the time of your birth. When you make it to 65, you're probably going to make it to 85. And I know I've shared this story several times about my grandfather. When he turned 79, like on his birthday, he was just depressed, which was totally not him. Didn't fit his personality at all. And I finally got him to tell me what was going on. And he said, honey, I figure I just had my last birthday because my daddy died when he was 79. And he could not, as much as I respected him and saw him as, this almost perfect person, he couldn't wrap his brain around being older than his dad had lived to. It was just impossible for him to think about. But he was here and healthy another 9 years. And so what if he had planned financially to not be here after 79?
Want more content like this delivered to your inbox weekly? Visit fastest4.com to learn more.